work. Here's how I know, y'all. So many years ago, before I was a full-time entrepreneur working in health and wellness, I used to be a social worker for the state of Michigan. I was responsible for helping kids who had been removed from the home by Child Protective Services. I was responsible for coming in and working with the foster family, working with the biological family, and helping to reunite the kids with their families. This means working with service providers like therapists and parenting classes, and then working with the court system, and then working with the foster family, and then working with the biological family, doing a lot of visits in the field all the time. And I remember it wasn't just me, it was me and all of my colleagues at the state of Michigan. Honey, we were overwhelmed and overworked. We were overwhelmed and overworked. And at that time, at the state of Michigan, I worked in Oakland County, and our office was in Pontiac, Michigan. And our caseloads, I don't know what the caseloads are now in social work at that office in Michigan, but the caseloads at that time were high. They were more than a single individual should have been juggling at one time. So you can imagine how overwhelming that work was. Number one, because of the nature of the work, right? Like it's child welfare. So things are serious. Like if we don't do our jobs right, if we miss a small detail, it can result in irreparable damage for these babies. But then also, it was juggling all of the bureaucracy, all of the rules and regulations you had to remember and abide by, but then also your personal safety going into people's homes in the field. It was a lot. And let me tell you how I know from that experience that stress management does not work is because we used to worship the weekend. The weekend. You know all the sayings that they say in a 9 to 5 world, right? I ain't been in a 9 to 5 in a long time, but I remember, and I think they still active today. Thank God it's Friday, right? Dreading Sundays, dreading Mondays, right? All the things you used to say by the water cooler or in our parking lot when y'all walking into work. You ready for this? Yeah, let's get in here. Right, like all the stuff, right? I remember. I think some of that stuff is still in play today in a 9 to 5 world. And I remember we would look forward to the weekend. We would look forward to holidays. We would look forward to vacations. And for some people, the workload got so bad that they would even take time off through FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act. People like their regular vacation time and paid time off that came with the job wasn't enough. There was a time when for some people they had to take a longer leave for their mental health. Honey, this is where I learned that chronic stress management does not work. Now, let's be very clear before we get into today's conversation because this is going to be a banger. This is going to be a good one because you guys know, like I know, that chronic stress kills. But before we get into this conversation, talking with our guest who's going to come on today and talking about the dangers of stress and talking about how we should be moving if we want to eliminate it versus how we should be moving if we just want to manage it. For my new people, maybe people who haven't heard me talk and teach about stress, I want to make sure you know the difference between chronic stress and acute stress. So, I'm not saying that stress management techniques like time off, breathing, mindfulness, therapy, I'm not saying those things aren't useful because they are, and there's a place for them, right? I just want people to understand what it does and what it doesn't do because there's two types of stress. There's acute stress, which is typically short term. Usually, and short term is typically like a month or less. And acute stress is usually a response to some type of traumatic or unexpected life event, sometimes a crisis. And you have a adverse response to this event, but it doesn't last for years. It's not keeping you up at night for years. It's not causing your health to be on a steady decline, right? I need you guys to understand that acute stress is the type of stress that we should all expect in life. So I'm not here promoting a stress free life. That's not ideal. That's not realistic. And more importantly, it's not even healthy. A little bit of stress, just like if you guys were on my live last Monday, I talked about a little bit of fear is actually healthy. Same thing goes for stress. A little bit of short term stress is extremely beneficial to us. The issue comes into play, and chronic stress kills when it becomes chronic, when it becomes long term. So, the type of stress that I'm going to be talking about with Cheryl today, and the type of stress that I'm typically talking about when I'm teaching, when I say chronic stress kill, is chronic, right? And so, I want to make sure you guys know the difference because stress management only helps you to live with stress. Stress management only helps you to live with stress. That's the first nugget of the day. I see some of my regulars on. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know who's the note taker in the chat today, but somebody put that in the chat for me. Stress management only helps you to live with stress. Let's be very clear. And you know what I liken it to before I bring Cheryl up? What I liken it to is people who have chronic lifestyle disease. That is obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney failure. All of these lifestyle conditions, guess what? Every time you take a statin for your high cholesterol, every time you take a beta blocker for your high blood pressure, right? Every time you take an appetite suppressant, so to help with weight loss, that's only helping you to live with obesity. That's only helping you to live with high blood pressure. That's only helping you to live with high cholesterol. Like every time you take a pill, a Tylenol, or ibuprofen for that headache or that knee pain or that joint pain, it's not doing anything to get to the root of the problem. It's just helping to soothe you in the moment. This is what I need you to understand about stress management techniques. At the end of the weekend, at the end of the FMLA, at the end of the yoga, at the end of the cocktail, you still got to go back to work. You still got to return home to the toxic marriage. You still got to go to the bank on Friday and see a deficit, whether it's financial stress, whether it's relational stress, whether it's occupational stress, whether it's health stress. At the end of the day, management techniques only help you live with the condition. It is not treatment to rid you of the condition. And if more people understood that, you will understand why we should be taking an elimination approach to these health challenges, stress included, as opposed to a management approach. Okay. So thank you, Erica, for putting it in the chat. Stress management only helps you to live with stress. It does not help you to eliminate stress, which means what, guys? We got to work a little harder. We got to be a little more radical. And I'm going to tell you what's usually on the other side of being chronic stress free, how you get to the other side. It's usually one of two things. And I'm excited to talk about it with our guest this morning: a difficult conversation or a tough decision. A difficult conversation or a tough decision. In my experience as a coach, helping thousands of people in the last decade, and having thousands of private conversations and reading private emails where people are divulging to me the things that they are going through personally. I have not met a situation yet that did not require either a difficult conversation or a tough decision. Usually the thing that prolongs our stress, y'all, is not the circumstance itself. It's usually the fact that we're living in the gray area, avoiding making a decision or avoiding a difficult conversation. So that's what I want you guys to understand as we bring Cheryl on this morning and proceed with this conversation. Welcome to Monday Morning Keynote with yours truly, Lisa A. Smith. Today we are bringing up one of our guests for our Coach Me Live segment. This is a new segment we just introduced 2 weeks ago, and you guys have been enjoying it. So thank you for your feedback. And Cheryl wrote in to us, and she wants to be coached through chronic stress. So let's bring her on, and we're going to kick this thing off. Make sure you drop some hearts in the chat. Just show Cheryl some love for her boldness for showing up on camera today and her willingness to talk to me. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Okay, make sure tell me I said your name right. Is it Cheryl?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I said because I have someone else in my life and she pronounces it Cheryl. So I want to
Say
make sure
it again. How did you say it?
she pronounces it. I have someone else in my life who pronounces it Cheryl, like chuh chuh.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So
You
I
said it
wanted to
right.
make sure I was saying it right as we get into this session today.
Yes.
So, Cheryl, thank you for writing in. Before we start off, I actually want to read a small segment of the email that you sent in about today's session. That sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to tell the people what you said in your email, and you said I am willing to be open and honest and transparent. So thank you for that. Okay. So y'all, when Cheryl wrote in today for today's segment, she said, when you explained the difference between acute and chronic stress, something finally clicked for me. I have been living in chronic stress for years without even knowing it. I have been trying so many things like therapy, self help books and videos, exercising, healthy eating, journaling, and meditating, but I still feel stuck. I kept wondering why isn't any of this working? I was doing all the right things and always felt that something deeper was still missing, but not knowing what that was. A few years ago, I learned that my cortisol levels were low. And at that time, I thought it was a good thing. I had always heard that the cortisol rises with stress, so I assumed that I was fine. But my body was telling a different story. The unexplained weight gain, waking up already stressed, heightened sensitivity to small things, jaw tension, face and arm tingling, and frequent headaches. Cheryl, talk to me a little more about that. Like, explain. First of all, thank you for sharing. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for being willing to take the hot seat today because I know a lot of people are experiencing something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about what this has been like for you.
First off, I want to say thank you for having me, Lisa. I'm so glad and excited to be here this morning. So kind of in the beginning, I had started just feeling something different in my body, and I'm trying to figure out what that was. So I started going to therapy. And within a couple of months of therapy, my body was feeling different. My left side was like real tense, like jaw, arm tingling. So I'm thinking I'm having a stroke. So I go to the emergency room and everything came back fine. Even my cortisol level was low. And I'm like, okay, it's low, so that's a good thing. So I'm thinking it's not high because I always knew that, stress was a silent killer. Stress releases cortisol, and that causes you to have all these symptoms and everything like that. So I'm thinking it's fine, but I'm still feeling something in my body, like something's not right. So I'm going to therapy, and still something's going on. I'm watching all these videos about burnout. I'm thinking I have ADHD, perimenopause, autoimmune disease, but nothing is really like weighing out that that's it. So I'm still like just like, okay, what is it? It's something. Still not knowing what that was.
Wow. And how long have you been dealing with this?
Probably for about 5 years. So I went to the emergency room August of 2023. So that's when I found out my cortisol was low. So up until now, I just thought I was dealing with stress. I never knew it was acute stress, chronic stress until I came across your content. And I'm like, wow, like what? All this time I'm going to therapy. They're telling me, oh, you just need to meditate, do your deep breathing, which all that works. But what I was going through, it just wasn't working for me. And that's why I was just like, okay, maybe it's not stress, maybe it's something else. That's why I said maybe I'm the perimenopause. I'm at that age now that's something I could be going through, but I really think it's related to the stress.
Hmm. Okay. So, Cheryl, give us a little backstory then.
Okay.
Do you know the source of your stress? Did like if it started 5 years ago, what triggered it?
So I feel that triggered it is just relationship. I can go way back, but I don't know if I got time to really explain it all. So, COVID, I was dealing with a relationship, I had to move. I had to go stay with my grandma. I have 2 kids, and I'm staying with my grandma, and we pretty much was in one bedroom, and just dealing with that. Then COVID hit. Then my oldest daughter, she lost her father, was killed in a car accident, July of 2020. Then August 2020, I had my nephew was killed, so I'm dealing with back to back death. Um, then I ended up getting married that year. And then it's just a lot of personal losses, just challenges that's happened back to back. And I never really healed from all of that. I just kept pushing through. So I never healed from none of it. You know, with the losses, the challenges I was dealing with parenting. I had a child custody battle with my youngest daughter's father. So I'm going through that. Work, challenges with work, and all that. I'm going through that. I'm not really pouring into myself because I'm trying to just push through and get ahead. So I never had a time to really heal. And then a couple of years after that, I had 2 more losses back to back. And I kind of want to go back some. Closeness, and I just never really healed from it all. So I guess just that constant, just building up, never really got a chance to heal.
Mm.
Just trying to be strong, because that's all I seen growing up too. Just, you got to be strong, that strong Black woman.
Yep.
You never seen them stressed out. They just push through, and you be like, oh, that's what life about. So I'm thinking, okay, well, let's move on to the next and get on to the next, and just never really heal from any of it.
Mm. So, Cheryl, I'm super sorry about your loss, and it sounds like, or your losses, you've been through a lot over the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine what all of that is like back to back, especially those really, really unexpected losses, right? The car
Yes.
accident, the kid, that I can't even imagine for you and your children. And then being in an environment that wasn't ideal as far as having to go back and move in with your grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
1 bedroom, right? So don't necessarily have your space the way you would prefer it. I
Cool.
imagine that was difficult as well. Okay, so I've heard you say a couple of things, which lets me know you have some insight on some things. So I want to ask you some questions before we go further. You said I never really had the chance to heal. It was always modeled. Strength was always modeled to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just pushing through, right? So I'm hearing that, which sounds like to me you have a level of self awareness already about what the challenge may be, right?
Yes.
So, where are you in the healing journey now? Because your awareness that that's what needed to take place. Have you done something with that awareness?
I'm in therapy, but I'm not fully getting what I need from that, because it
Yeah.
still seems like it's still something missing. And just, recently just listening to your videos and you talking about the stages of chronic stress and with the exit strategy, I'm like, that's where I'm at. Like, I know what I want to do. I know the vision. I know where I'm at now is not for me, but I just don't know how to execute.
Hmm.
I have no execution, but I have that exit strategy.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Listening. First of all, that's
I'm
awesome.
listening. I'm tapping in, like, okay, this is it. I feel like this is what I've been dealing with. And it's like finally it just came right to me. It's so crazy.
Yes. Okay. This is so good. You like 10 steps ahead of me, honey. Okay. I love it here. Okay. Okay. So you sound super clear. And so for the people, tell me what your vision is, and then we're gonna walk through what your exit strategy is, and then we're gonna walk through why there's no execution.
Okay.
Okay, but you said I know what I want, right?
Yes.
So tell me what you want. What's the North Star?
So I want to build my own tax business. I've been on my job for 26 years, and I'm currently at a stage where it's not growing. I'm not growing right now. It's like I feel like it's something more for me, and this is not it. And I feel undervalued. I'm underpaid, and it's really no ahead there. So I'm like, okay, I need to get on to what I want to do. I've been doing my taxes since I was 16 years old. I went to school. I got my BA with concentration in accounting. So I'm like, cool. So I went to school. I had a newborn baby and an 11-year-old. I was motivated. I took 5 classes the first year. I'm in there. I didn't stop. I went through, got my bachelor's degree. So I'm like, I got it. So I found a mentor to do accounting, and I had a meeting with her, and I'm thinking everything going good. We were vibing, and she was like, okay, I'll give you a call so we can get rolling. I didn't get a call from her, so I followed up with her. No response. So I got discouraged. I'm like, well, maybe this not for me. I had someone else to contact, and I'm like, nah, maybe this not for me. Maybe I should just stay at my job. Maybe this is what I've been on here for so long. Maybe this is my purpose. Maybe my purpose is being a great mom, a great friend. I don't know. So I got discouraged with that. So this was in 2017. To fast forward, like I've always had a passion for taxes. I still continue to do my taxes. If friends call or family, I'll give them insight, help them out to do their taxes. It was just like regular 1040 taxes, nothing too extreme. And then 2 years ago, my friend started her own tax business, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, this is an opportunity for me to get on board with, starting just like tapping in a little bit just to get my feet wet." But I had did all the marketing materials. I took photos and had everything. I had flyers. I sent out messages. But I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any traction. But I'm like, I got these flyers. I got to go pass them out. And I'm like, I'm very shy. And I'm like, these limited beliefs started coming in. Oh, what if they already have someone doing their taxes? I'm not fully prepared. I don't know. What if they ask me a question? I don't know how to answer it. Um, just the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment. So I didn't have not one client that tax season. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this not for me. But that still kept coming up. Like, I know what like even this past couple of weeks, past couple of months, I'm like, okay, I'm about to do this again. But this time I'm gonna get certified. So I know I want to be an enroll agent. I'm like, I know what I need to do to get there. I got it all mapped out. I got enough time to be ready for the next tax season coming up. So I have the vision. I have it laid out, but I haven't enrolled in the course. None of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I'm just stuck. And it's like, I know I can do it because I've done it before. I had a newborn baby, went to school and worked full time. I had the motivation, but I'm not motivated anymore. So I can't even explain why. I'm stuck. I know what I want, but I don't know how to. I know how to get there, but I don't know like actually how to step into it, like actually get in it.
Okay. Cheryl, I believe 99.9% of everything you just said. But there's one part where you just lied to me. Okay. You told the whole story, and then at the very end, you said, I don't know why I'm not starting. And right before that, you proceeded to tell me every reason why you didn't start. So now,
Ah,
I'm about to show you something. Now, this is so good because let me recap the stages of execution when it comes to eliminating chronic stress for the audience. And I'm going to tell you what stage you in, and I'm going to tell you how we both know you in that stage so you can stop lying to everybody, okay? Okay. Okay. So anytime you are experiencing chronic stress, y'all, you need either an exit strategy, an enter strategy, or a engagement strategy. Now, it sounds like Cheryl today wants an exit strategy from her 9 to 5, and she also has an enter strategy to work to create a tax business. Is that right, Cheryl?
yes.
Because you said, I know what to do, I just don't know why I'm not starting. Right?
Yes.
You like, I got to get certified, I got to do this. You clear on the very next steps you probably need to take, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what I teach guys is that anytime you have the strategy, but you're not executing is one of three reasons. So, first, sometimes we stressed out and we don't have a strategy, and that means we have a decision making issue. That's not Cheryl's problem. Okay. The second stage is we have a strategy, but we're not executing. That's what Cheryl is. And that means we have a belief issue. Okay. And then the third stage for people is I have a strategy, I'm executing, but I am still experiencing stress. And that means you have a faith issue. But Cheryl, you're in step two. And the
Okay.
reason you said, I don't know why I'm not. But then right before that, you told us about 8 reasons why you're not. Girl, don't be coming on here lying to these people. You said that maybe they already got somebody preparing their taxes. What if people ask me a question I don't know the answer to? What I'm probably not qualified enough. Let me go get another certificate. I'm not enough. I don't know enough. I'm not good enough. They don't need me. Girl, you know the limiting beliefs. The
Yes.
limiting beliefs. So let me now. So Cheryl, so we're crystal clear. We're in agreement that you're on stage two. I have a strategy. I know how to get from point A to point B. I have a plan for working myself out of my 9 to 5. However, I have a belief issue, right? Now, let's talk about how we unpack limiting beliefs. So, Cheryl, I'm in New Jersey right now. I had a speaking engagement yesterday, right? And so I spoke at this wonderful conference called Rose in Real Estate, and they had this beautiful wellness panel. Me and one other young lady was on the panel, and the moderator asked me a question about limiting beliefs. So you came on the right day, Cheryl. You came on the right day because this is fresh in the top of my brain. So she asked me. She said, "Lisa, how do people who are dealing with belief issues now?" The issue for the audience was issues about money. Like what should people do if they want to be wealthy, but they have a limiting belief that says, all wealthy people are evil or that money is the root of all evil. Like, how do we unpack limiting beliefs? And I'm gonna tell you what I told them yesterday. And maybe we could do some of this together. The first step when you have beliefs, when you have voices that are telling you, I don't know enough yet, I'm not good enough, people don't need me, there's not room in the marketplace for me, all of these things. The first thing we have to do is we have to excavate. That means we have to dig. Yes. So, and all that means, I'm going to simplify it even more. As a coach, my job is to ask questions, right? When I'm a teacher, my job is to answer questions. When I'm a coach, my job is to ask questions. And anytime somebody says something like, maybe this isn't meant to be, or maybe I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified, I'm not enough, maybe this is not the right time, or it's like people don't have, I'm not going to know enough. And what if somebody asks me a question and I don't know the answer to that question? So we're going to go with that belief right there. Cheryl, if somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer to that question, what's wrong with that?
Nothing really.
Are you sure? Because it's stopping you from moving forward. Because there's got to be something wrong with it. What's the potential danger in you not having an answer to a tax question?
None really, because I can always tell them I'll get back to you.
That can't be the answer.
No.
You thinking real logically and sophisticated.
I am.
Okay.
What they don't happens? They don't know what they're talking about.
There we go. Okay. So I'm worried that they're gonna think what?
They don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not credible.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, because we know logically I could probably find that answer.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing that's stopping you from moving forward is people are gonna think I'm not credible. Right? And what's wrong with that? Like why is that a problem?
Just an image thing, I guess.
Okay. There's no wrong answer. Okay. All right. And so you're worried about your image. You're worried about how you'd be perceived if you don't have all the answers. Right.
Yeah.
And Cheryl, why do you think you worried about how you would be perceived?
Maybe because I'm probably for myself, just done everything right, I guess. I went to school and everybody viewed me as, oh, you going to school, you went for this, so you should know, so I'm thinking maybe that could be it.
Yeah. And so you're used to doing everything right. and this is something that maybe you don't have down mastery over yet as much as other things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so what's wrong with that? What's wrong with not being at a level of mastery in this area yet as you may be in other areas?
Realistically, it's nothing wrong, but I just hold that against myself because of the perfectionism. Feel
Okay.
I have to be perfect.
Okay. Perfectionism. Okay. So you're holding yourself to a high standard. Cheryl,
Hmm.
what would typically be the solution for someone who wants to have mastery so that they don't have fear of a question? What would be the solution? What's the ideal thing to do?
To seek skills, seek knowledge, and just study.
Is that what you do?
No.
Ah, okay. So you're not actively doing anything to make yourself feel like you know more. You're just allowing the fact that you feel like you don't know enough stop you from launching your business.
Yeah.
But you know the anecdote is to do what?
To take action.
What's the action?
To get the knowledge.
So you can feel more qualified.
Yes.
Okay, so let me be clear. We sitting here with a limiting belief, one of which we got a couple, but one of which is, well, I don't know if I know enough yet. I'm worried about somebody asking me a question and I don't have the answers. And then when that happens, then they don't think I don't know what I'm talking about. And I probably think I don't know what I'm talking about either because I'm not even doing nothing to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I just want to hear that part. Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Because there's nothing because you're 100% right. Like you're 100% right. We absolutely, if we're gonna go out our way to start a business, and if we're gonna go out of our way to ask people to hand over one of their most valued resources in exchange for a service we provide, we should have mastery. You on target. Yeah, like
Hmm.
that's called credibility. That's called integrity, right? You on target. But Cheryl, if you know that, because study the thing that will rid you of the I don't know enough is getting out there and knowing enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, but
Yeah.
maybe that's not the biggest limiting belief that's stopping you. Give me one more. Give me one more that's really stopping you from taking action. Give me another belief that you keep telling yourself.
Yeah. I said that I'm not good enough. The confidence. I guess it's the all thing. Failure.
Mm.
Fear of failure. It
Now,
must be something else. I don't know. Cause
okay, so I heard you say something earlier, and it turned a light bulb on for me, Cheryl, because I don't know if you saw me coach Wanda live last week, but she said the same thing. You said you had something happen, it didn't work out, and you got discouraged.
oh yes.
Right now,
Discouragement.
I'm like, yeah, that's interesting because Wanda said something similar last week where she had was trying to do something and it didn't work out, or she didn't hear back from the people and she got discouraged. I was like, oh, okay, this is a pattern. So do you have any entrepreneurs in your ecosystem or any people close to you who are entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have you ever talked to them about business, not what they do in there, but what it takes to run a business?
No.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. Okay. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. And one of the things that is unavoidable in entrepreneurship is no. It's unavoidable. You're going to
No.
hear no over and over again. And sometimes the no, like the K in no, is silent, meaning you don't hear nothing at all. You don't hear nothing back. You don't get an answer to your proposal or to your question. Sometimes somebody says, yeah, I want you to do my taxes. Absolutely. Call me on this day. And you call them on that day and they don't answer the
No.
phone. Honey, let me tell you something about no. Let me tell you something about rejection. Let me tell you something about if it takes one to get you to quit, you might as well just stay at your 9 to 5. You might as well just stay at the 9 to 5 for another 20 something years. Don't lock it in. Tell them people you ain't going nowhere. Handcuff yourself to the desk, baby. Because let me tell you something. If you let one, not right now, no thank you, get out of my face, don't call me no more, nope, we can't help you, no. If you let one knock you to your knees, Cheryl,
Yeah.
honey, business is not, because entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. So let me tell you something. Anytime you get rejection in business, they're not rejecting Lisa. They're not rejecting Cheryl. They're rejecting your offer. So the way you push forward, Cheryl, is that you make more offers. It sounds counterintuitive.
Okay.
Right? But
Yeah.
the way you push forward is you make more offers, because the more offers you make, the better you get at making offers, and you get to understand how to position your offer to the prospect so that it becomes more attractive. It's not about you being attractive, it's about your offer being attractive. So if you want to do my taxes, make me an attractive offer. Don't show up to me with no low energy, barely any confidence, talking about I
Okay.
can, maybe if you would let me, I would love to try. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I have done the work privately to develop mastery. I'm confident in the fact that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to make you an offer to let me perform your taxes because I've done my due diligence. I know who my customer is. I'm going to talk directly to that person, and I'm going to show up with confidence. So you just got to make more offers. Getting discouraged after one no is healthy and it's normal. Being paralyzed by the no is a recipe for failure. Getting discouraged is human nature. That's emotions. So that happens to all of us, Cheryl. All of us. Every last business owner has made offers, have gotten a no, and we have gotten discouraged. But the difference is that I didn't stop.
Okay.
I still made more offers. I made space for me to be in my feelings, but I didn't make an emotional decision.
Okay. To be paralyzed.
Okay? Yes. Okay. So let's do the second part of this, and then I'll let you go. Okay. So first things first, when we have a limiting belief, and that means that we have things that we're telling ourselves about ourselves that's stopping us from moving forward. And then that means it's prolonging our stress. We have to excavate the limiting belief. Well, why do I think that? Well, what's wrong with that? Oh, I only want to be presented as being perfect. I'm worried about what people will think of me. I'm worried about my image. And why that? Because I want you dig. Why? What's wrong with that? But why? I need you to start learning how to self-excavate, self-coach.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing we do is excavate. The second thing that I told them yesterday at that speaking engagement, after you excavate your limiting beliefs so you can get to the root of it, excavation means to dig, right? So after we got to the root of it, I'm worried about, I'm worried about what people, how I see. Okay. And then what's the solution for how people see me? Is mastery. Okay, so let me go close my door, get in the books, and let me go master my craft. And that's going to be the antidote to how I'm going to be perceived. Okay, we got that first part. The second part is we have to deploy the scientific method. So what that means is you have a hypothesis, Cheryl. You said, for example, you didn't really market and promote your business, although you came up with a marketing plan because one of the things you thought is, they probably already got somebody else doing their taxes, right? That's what we call in the science world an hypothesis. We don't have data that is true. We don't have data that is not true. We just have a theory, right? And in science, to prove or disprove our hypothesis, we got to test it.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Because what this helps us to do is get out of our feelings when it's time to get out of our feelings, because it's okay to be in your feelings. But when it's time to get to work, we got to then sit down with some black and white and make it make sense. I'm assuming these people don't need me. I'm assuming these people won't want to hear my offer. I'm assuming. Now we got to test the hypothesis. When you got a hypothesis, you go in the lab and you test it.
Okay.
So now, what does testing your hypothesis look like for you?
Passing out my flyers.
What else? What else we going to do to market the business?
Post on Instagram.
Come on, content. What else we going to do? You better talk to me.
Make some calls.
Come on now. You said you had the plan. Now I want to hear it.
I'm okay with doing those last two things, but it's just the shyness going up to someone like, I got to build that confidence and have that that attractive offer.
Okay. So, and that's all business acumen, and I can help you with that. Okay. That's business acumen. How do I present my offer? How do I make my offer attractive? That's just business acumen, because you probably know taxes, but don't know business like you know taxes, right?
Okay.
Which is fine. So I want you to know that too. Your craft is separate from running a business as far as the skill set goes. right?
Oh.
Because you can be phenomenal at taxes and be crappy at business, right?
Mm.
You need both. Like a business born out of passion has to be raised by business acumen.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So you
Okay.
birthed this idea because of you're passionate about taxes and you passionate about helping us get it together, right? But the baby got to be raised by business acumen, by a whole nother skill set. So that
Okay.
means you have to understand business. You got to understand marketing. You got to understand sales. You have to understand how to craft an offer. You got to understand pricing. You got to understand customer relationship management. You got to understand a lot of stuff, right? To
Okay.
run a business. And that's separate from doing taxes,
Okay. Okay.
right? Just like I got to understand all that stuff. And that's separate from coaching and speaking, right?
Okay.
Right. So here's another piece of permission I'm going to give you, which is permission to know your craft but not know business, which lets you off the hook, because it's not that you're good or not good, it's not that you're qualified or unqualified, it's that I just don't know anything about business. While I know entrepreneurs, I don't have the skill set to run a
Mm.
business. So you can let yourself off the hook here. It's not as bad as you think. You just been in your 9 to 5. You said 27 years. How long you been there?
26 years.
26 years you've been in a 9 to 5. You have a 9 to 5 mindset. You have a 9 to 5 model that you follow. You 9 to 5 all day and all night.
Right.
The
Okay.
business part is new to you. Taxes ain't new. Your skill
Okay.
ain't new, but running a business is new. So
Okay.
now I would say to you, okay, if you think your shyness is getting in the way of you passing out flyers and talking to people about your business, let's curate a situation where the people are there to hear from you versus you feeling like you're bombarding people or intruding on people. What if, Cheryl, we created some content on Instagram, and then what if we hosted your own masterclass that people signed up for, which means they're raising their hand to hear from you, to hear what you can do and hear your offer? How can we create a situation or a circumstance where you ain't got to worry about being intrusive, or you don't have to worry about being shy because you don't know what the people think or if they really want this? What if we create a situation when they signed up to hear from you, right?
I'll probably
That,
still be shy.
oh, you'll still be shy. You'll still be shy, but you'll be called to the floor because we're here for Cheryl. Right.
Mm.
It's still different than passing out flyers. Absolutely. You'll still have a little stage fright. It'll be new for sure. Right.
Okay.
But the good news is, like I always say about doing new things, it's not hard. You're just new. Right.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and let me tell you the thing, one of the things that helps you overcome stage fright. It's one of the best antidotes to stage fright. And you about to start working on it. Mastery.
Mastery.
When you know your craft,
That's
taking that first step onto the stage is still gonna be nerve-wracking. I can't take that away from you. But once you get going, baby, you ever watch somebody teach or speak or go to a presentation or a Zoom call or something, and the person know they stuff and it's clear they know they stuff, and they get in
yeah.
the room
That's
and
what
they
I'm
going,
yeah.
yeah, and you
That
preaching, you like, let's get it. Yeah, because the mastery takes over, right?
yes.
And then when you're being radically obedient to what God called you to do, you know what takes over above mastery? Obedience.
Mm.
Sure, let me tell you something. If God told you to do this for us, if God told you to do our taxes and create this business and help these people, you see a gap in the industry and you want to do it better, you want to do it differently or whatever, how dare you be disobedient to that because you got one no? How dare you be disobedient to that because you shy? How dare you be
Mm.
disobedient to that because you haven't done the work to heal from a insecurity? You already know how I feel about obedience. Now come on now. You already know. We don't come across this platform refusing obedience. Like, let's not play with this
Yes.
thing. Okay, so how does all that resonate? That was a lot.
That resonated, especially the obedience. Yes. That resonated real deep.
Okay. All right. We got work to do, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Two things I want to be clear on. When we started this conversation, you told me, part of your stress came from years of not giving yourself permission to heal, not giving yourself the space, and not because you consciously didn't give yourself the space, but you have always been modeled strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the other women in your life, you said. And so because strength and pushing through and just keeping it moving has always been modeled for you, it sounds like your survival habits have become bad habits, right? There is a
Mhm.
time and space for strength, but unfortunately, you overused that superpower and it turned into stress.
Yes.
Okay. So, strength is a good thing, it's not a bad thing, but we can overuse a superpower.
Mhm.
And because everybody ain't strong. So, strength
Yeah.
is a good thing. And so I want to, before we, conclude with the business part, I want to just check back in on the healing part. Where
Okay.
are you in that healing journey? I know you said you're in therapy and things like that, but something still needs to change. Where are you on the healing journey from the loss you've experienced? And is that in aligned on track to not be a challenge for you anymore?
Well, with that, now I've created boundaries and I'm more so have a voice now. Like I speak how I feel, and if it's not working, I say that and I let it be known. Like, hey, I'm not able to do that right now. This not working. You're gonna have to find somebody else to do it.
Yes.
So I have been tapping into that. The only thing that I need to my self care, and I still put that last, and I should put that first and put everything after that. So I'm still working through that. Like that's been a kind of a struggle for me. But other than that, like setting boundaries, sticking to them, and needing to find more time for myself.
Okay. What's the challenge with creating that time for yourself? What are you running into? Is it more of not saying no to people, or is it guilt about just taking that time? What is it?
Just me feeling I have these expectations I need to meet as a mother, as a wife. Oh, I
Ah,
need to get this done. Let me get this done. Let me cook this meal. Let me do this. Let me do this. Instead of saying, oh, let me go do me first. Then I'll figure out what we gonna eat tonight. If I gotta run to the restaurant and grab something quick, depending on the time. But I always tend to do that first instead of putting me first. And when it's time for me, it's late. It's time to get into bed. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow. And sometimes that never happens the next day.
yep. Okay. So I have this in our plant-based coaching program, Cheryl. It's called Farm to Table. And in the very last module of Farm to Table, I teach this thing called life expectancy. And life expectancy, when we hear life expectancy, we typically think of like how long we'll live, right?
Hmm.
But in this case, in Farm to Table, I tell our students at the end of the program, I say life expectancy is not just about how long you'll live. It's about being crystal clear on what life expects from you versus what you expect from it.
Mm.
What you just said was the thing that has been preventing me from making time for myself is because I'm trying to adhere to life's expectancies, i.e., I'm a mother, so I should do this. This
Hmm.
title comes with this responsibility. And you trying to adhere to what you believe society is saying you should do is
Yes.
preventing you from taking care of yourself, right? So you crafted your life around what does life expect from me? But I challenge you to make some decisions around what you expect from life.
Mm.
And what you expect from life is going to require you to be the best version of yourself, which means you got to be pushed up to the front of the list. I want you to know that the decisions you're making to put other people first, even though it's your children, ain't even your decision. It's what you have been told that mothers should do. Now,
Yeah.
if it was your choice, that's fine. No choice is right or wrong, but it's
Hmm.
clearly not your first choice. It's just what you've either been modeled or what
Yeah.
you've been told, but it's not your first choice because it's bothering you that you ain't been taken care of.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now we got to wake up every day and say, what does Cheryl expect from life versus what does life expect from Cheryl?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you right now, this coaching, this talking, this teaching that I do, this traveling for speaking, this running a business, this team stuff, baby, I got to wake up every day with a clear mind. I got to wake up every day in a healthy body. I got to wake up every day mobile. I can't do it at a high level less than optimal. It's not even possible for me, Cheryl. And I need you to understand the same thing goes for you. The tax business will not go as far as it can go as long as you are depleted and less than your best. Period. So you can start it and you'll probably make a little money, but the vision that you have for it requires you to be above average. The average woman your age and your current socioeconomic status is overweight on at least one medication. They're overwhelmed. They're insecure. Trust me, we about in the same bracket.
Yeah.
I'm above average because I know I had to be to have an above average business and above average mission. You are the same way. So not putting yourself first is choosing average, which means your business will only grow as far as you are willing to grow. You see, exactly, to average. Exactly. You got to put this thing in perspective. So you being less than your best is also a form of disobedience to the assignment. I can't wait till you listen back to this episode.
Go ahead, put me all the way together. Go ahead.
So does that resonate? Because we can't do nothing with the business if we still have these, if we're still allowing life to tell us who we should be. You feel me?
Yes.
Like, because life also tells you to stay safe. So what happens after we get off this and you be like, okay, Lisa said no comes with entrepreneurship. Lisa said rejection comes with the business. I done kept pushing through 2 rejections. I done kept pushing through 6 rejections. But Coach Lisa, I don't know if I can push through 10 rejections. And you're going to go right back to the rhetoric in our culture that tells you stay safe. You have 26 years seniority on your 9 to 5. You can expect a paycheck. You got some benefits. That's what life expects you to choose the comfortable route. So you got to get this life expectancy thing together before we get the business together. Yeah. Because I still don't know your endurance for rejection. I don't know if your endurance is 10 rejections or 100, but I need your endurance to be high if this is the assignment.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can only endure what business requires you to endure if you're optimal first. You got a relationship with God. You meditate. You know how to listen and hear. You know how to exercise. You know how to eat like you got some sense. You know how to drink like you see what I'm saying? All those things that you got to be strong to endure what entrepreneurship requires. Okay. You got to be well rested. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. What was your biggest takeaways today, Cheryl?
That I need to be obedient.
Yes.
That's the biggest one.
Yes.
I got to excavate and figure out what's holding me back, these limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And just really knowing that there's a difference from having the skill and for your passion versus a business skill. I always tag that in like, oh, I'm about to be entrepreneurs. I know what entrepreneur does.
Yes.
So that was an eye opener there too. So yeah,
good.
This is great.
Yay! I'm so happy.
Me too.
This was so good. Y'all, the comments have been going crazy. Y'all give Cheryl some love one more time in the chat. This has been amazing. I'm so proud of you for reaching out and being willing to show your face. Let us hear your voice. Let me say your name and be like, I need help. I don't care what it looked like. That was
I'm like, I need it.
Yeah, with your shy self, girl. Stop.
And I was saying this. I'm like, I'm shy, but I'm about to do it. Like, hey, I'm about to get out there and do it.
I'm so grateful. So listen, I'm about to give an update on our person who was on last week. I told her homework was to email me with her what she did. You got the same homework. Okay. So here's the fee for free. Now you know I be charging thousands for coaching, sure. You just got off real good like a fat cat. Now listen, but here's the fee. Okay, you have 6 days, all right, to move the needle on this thing. What can you realistically do? Because we got the strategy, we just didn't have execution. What can you realistically do within the next 6 days and report back to us?
Enroll in a course? I mean, I don't know if that's enough.
You sound hesitant. Anytime that voice go up at the end of the sentence,
I don't know.
I need you to figure out something. We got to move the needle. With these people, you know, it ain't for me. It's for the audience. They need to see some progress.
Any suggestions on what I could start, like a step forward at least?
Yeah. So, what was the next step? You said you had a strategy, an exit strategy, and you know
I
what
had
you
an
need.
exit strategy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So, tell me what steps you have laid out in the exit strategy.
just enrolling in the course. That's pretty much it. I got to start there to even take, because I got to take an exam. It's a 3-part exam, so I
Oh,
need to enroll in a course to help me prepare for the exam.
so
I
it's
could
a prep.
study on my own, but it's
You
best to
prefer.
probably enroll in a course.
Okay, that sounds like the best next step because that's gonna defeat that I don't know enough limiting belief, right?
Okay.
It's gonna help you with that. So is enrolling in the course within the next 6 days realistic based on your resources? Is the course free?
Yes, that's real realistic. Yes.
Okay, dang. Well, I don't even know why your voice went up at the end. Enroll in the course within the next 6 days. Okay.
Uh-huh. I
And
just think that's so easy. Like I mean, it's just still I got to put the work in.
oh, you think it's too easy? You want a harder step? Okay, go get a client.
What?
What?
No,
Huh?
that's hard.
You wait a minute. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Y'all, did she or did she not just ask for a harder step?
Not that hard.
No. You don't get to judge what's hard.
I
No.
don't even know how I don't even know how to get a client.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So boy, y'all a trip. Okay. So typically how we get clients in business is we market our business, right? So you won't answer what? Okay. So I know that we're after April 15th, but what tax issues are people usually dealing with right now this time of year? Like what they going through? Like what's the biggest thing people?
If they wasn't able to file on time, they probably filed an extension. So they probably trying to work through getting their taxes submitted because they filed an extension.
Okay. Is that something you can help people with?
No, not really. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. What do people know? Here's another optional next step then. Schedule a masterclass that you can teach.
Okay.
Okay. So what that means is this is something that you would do free to the public. This is how I started my career and just mastering speaking and teaching my craft is I created a masterclass that I taught every month, over and over. Do the same thing because we wanted the next limiting belief that we can combat is the shyness piece and kind of the resistance to, talking about your business and talking about what you do in front of people.
I'll
So,
schedule my own master. I don't know enough to schedule a master class.
oh no. Who you thought I was talking about? Go sit in the audience for somebody else? Why don't you know enough?
I don't.
That's the limited. Anyway, schedule a master class that you're gonna host. I don't have time for it. I got a flight to catch. You about to keep me. Cheryl, this is so crazy to me. You asked for a harder step, and now you're resisting the hard. This is the part that's you scare the heck out of you, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me tell you a cool thing about a master class, though. Number one, you have ample opportunity to prepare. Okay. So what this means is, and the second part is that you can decide what you teach and what you share. All right. So there's things about our taxes that we don't know and that we need to be educated on.
I don't know either.
Yes, you do. You done been doing this for too long. You see, you think because you're not on step 10 that you don't know anything. But it's not true. It's not true. There's something that we got. So you can either create your own master class or you can go into a community that you're already in that's dedicated to accounting and taxes and you can offer to teach on their platform. You choose.
Okay.
Either way, you got to get in front of people and teach something.
Okay.
Now, what you do at your job?
I work for a transportation company. I'm a manager of port services.
Okay. So I don't have time to get into it right now. We'll talk about this. Hopefully me and you can do some business coaching together. But there's probably a plethora of skills that you've acquired in your 26 years in that field. I can only imagine. Is that right? And
yes.
You feel like you have mastery in that field. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And if I asked you right now to teach something based on what you do in your 9 to 5, you feel like you could do it?
Yes.
Okay. And you probably won't even have that much resistance because it's not your shyness. It's just like fear of what I know or don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So, same thing. You have the opportunity to take a lesson or a skill set that you have acquired from the work that you do in your 9 to 5 for 26 years, and you can apply that to taxes. So, there's definitely going to be some congruencies. There's going to be some things. It could be a more general skill about organization. It can be right, and then you tell us how
Mm-hmm.
we should be organizing our things to be better prepared for tax. Like, think of
I
what you
got you.
already. You see what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
think sometimes one of the things we do when we want to start a business, Cheryl, is because the business we want to start is not related to the work that we currently do. We think our current work is completely irrelevant, like that's not useful. But all you got to do is take some time to do some critical thinking and think about all the mastery you have in 26 years of what you do, and how much of that mastery can be pulled over into what you're about to do.
Okay.
There are
I
some
got it.
things you can, and then all your stories, all your examples that you're going to use to teach us will come from what you do in your 9 to 5, and you'll make us see how it's related to what you're trying to teach us in the present moment.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to register for the test preparation course and email me when that's done. And then I want you to figure out what you can teach people using what you currently do as an example and pull it over on how it relates to accounting and taxes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Because we got to have a successful business, we got to spend time in our business and working on our business. So this is a critical thinking exercise for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I could do that.
I know. So I want my email.
I'm like,
Because I gotta update the people next week. They want to know that they done set through all of this, and they want to know that you're gonna go out here and be great.
okay.
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 All right.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Final words to the people who are maybe where you are or where you once were. What would you want them to know?
Just want them to know to keep pushing through, keep seeking out to you gonna come into alignment and find the right thing. Just like I came across Lisa's content at the right time, and just also just keep pushing through researching and just trying to understand what this stress is. And I love that you teach how it's two different forms of stress. The chronic stress, oh my goodness, if I would have known years ago, I just feel like I wouldn't be at the place that I am at now. But whatever, I'm here now, trying to rebuild with intention, rebuild my life with intention.
Yes. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Yes. Thank you for being here today, Cheryl. I look forward to getting your updates so I can share it with people.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all, and as promised, let me give you an update about Wanda last week. So if you were here for our Coach Me Live session last week, then you heard Wanda come on talking about her fear of launching her business. And I told you guys that she has 7 days. She has 7 days to take some action in that business, and she did. Shout out to Wanda, who's in the audience right now. So before I hop off, I just want to tell you guys that Wanda, now, just as a quick reminder, she has a business, Parents Teaching Parents, or Parents Helping Parents, a nonprofit that her and her business partner are starting. And she's based in Florida. And she wants to launch this business where she helps parents, give them access to all of the resources and activities they need to help their kids do better and go higher in the school system, right? And she hadn't really launched because she had some fear. And she wanted to create this segment where she talked to parents who were waiting around when their kids were at sports practice and things like that. But she had, reached out to the people, and she hadn't heard back, and so she allowed that to let her get discouraged. Well, I am happy to report, okay, that Wanda has reconfigured her pitch and her business proposal. I asked Wanda last week, was her proposal in writing? Did she submit a formal written proposal? She had not. Y'all, this week she emailed me the proposal. I'm so proud. Wanda, I'm so proud of you. She emailed the proposal and she emailed the pitch that she will now be using to get the space and the time that she needs to start talking to parents and eventually offering her services. We are so proud of her. That is the fee for free. And Wanda, you are paid up, honey. Yes, yes, yes. I love it here. So, listen, if you enjoy this segment, Coach Me Live, and you want some help with whatever challenges you're having in health or otherwise, send us an email. Matter of fact, no, I put the link in the chat. Guess what, y'all? We got a whole link now. You can fill out a form. So you don't have to email. Click the link in the show notes. It's pinned at the top. It says apply for a feature on Coach Me Live. Fill out a short form. Let us know what your challenge is. Let us know what problems you're having. And I would be honored to coach you live. Listen, that is it for me. We are 2 days away from being 7 days away from our next vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge, which starts on July 1st. I'm so excited for our summer edition. We already got over 500 people registered for the next challenge. It's going to be off the hook. We're going to help y'all come get this health because you can't eliminate chronic stress with brain fog, baby. You can't launch your business if you got all these insecurities. So let me snatch you back to reality over the course of July with the Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Salt, Oil, and Sugar-Free Challenge. Make sure you're registered at lisaangelsmith.com/challenge. I should have put that in the show notes too. Anyway, this was phenomenal. Next week, I just looked at the date. Next week, I'm going to have a special guest on. We got another segment, me and a guest. You guys are going to love it. Some of you, I'm not going to say anymore. We got a special guest next Monday. So make sure you're back here June 30th, 10 a.m. EST for the Monday morning keynote with yours truly. Until then, by the way, Jersey, thank you for having me. Oh, let me tell y'all a quick short story. I got my seasonings right here. Listen, we're about to kick off the 30-Day Vegan SOS Free Challenge. Got to Jersey yesterday. I got to Jersey on Friday, but I got to the speaking engagement yesterday. I walk in the door at King University in Jersey, and somebody says, Coach Lisa, and I turn around, I'm like, what up? And it was Lachey, a young lady who took our challenge in January of this year. And she handed me this wonderful, beautiful gift bag. And she has some no salt seasoning in there for me. And the ingredients is up to my standard, y'all. It's all real food. Paprika, parsley, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and ground mustard. Baby, I'm going to be using this all July. So let me just give a shout out to one of our challenges and our community members. Lachey is in the chat. Hey, Lachey. Thank you for your seasonings, honey. They are seasonings by Shay. Seasonings by Shay. Salt-free seasoning. So if you're taking the challenge with us, you're going to need this in your life because we ain't eating no salt all July, baby. We about to snatch the edges, the waist, everything. So, Shay, put your website in the chat for the people who may be interested. I asked her yesterday, y'all. She's based here in Jersey, but she said she does ship. I said, do you ship? Because the people don't want to know. And she said, and do. Okay? So, shout out to Shay. She has her own seasonings. She gave me a sample, a full bottle sample, by the way. So I'm going to try this when I get back home in just a few hours. And I'm so excited. I love y'all. So I love when y'all come out to hear me speak. I love when y'all come out and bless me. And I love when y'all love on me. And shout out to Shay because I asked her because she takes some footage of me. She sat in the front row during my segment and took videos and pictures. I love to love y'all. So thank you, Shay. I appreciate you so much. So guys, you got to get registered for the challenge. It's going to be off the hook. We're going to have more Coach Me Lives coming up. But next week, I got a special guest. We're going to be off the hook with our shenanigans. If that might have just gave it away. We're going to be off the hook with our shenanigans next Monday. So make sure you're back here every Monday, 10 a.m. EST. Susan said, I want the t-shirts that you wear. Yes, this is one of our newer shirts, y'all. Woo, 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 woo. Stress kills, purpose heals, and do. That's what I should have put at the bottom, Kiwi, and do. So we'll have this shirt tagged in this video. I think I don't know, Kiwi knows how to do it. So we'll tag this shirt in the video for anybody who's interested in Stress Kills, Purpose Heals. Because that's what we did for Cheryl today. We're going to kill the stress and get her on purpose, honey. And so we got y'all. So this is available in our merch store, our Shopify Plant Protocol Shopify store. And I didn't have my teacup with me today, y'all. It's back home. I didn't travel with my teacup, but I will be back with the tea next Monday, June 30th, 10 a.m. EST. Love y'all. Bye, y'all.